Hello, my friend, and welcome back. I'm so grateful you're here tonight. If you've clicked on this episode, maybe you've had a dream recently that shook you. Maybe you woke up startled, heart pounding, and you couldn't quite shake the images from your mind the next morning. Or maybe you've carried a nightmare with you for years, one that returns again and again like a shadow knocking at your door. Most of us try to brush nightmares aside, don't we? We roll over, we tell ourselves, it's just a dream, just random. But what if nightmares aren't random at all? What is there among the most important dreams you'll ever have? In this episode, we're going to explore nightmares in depth, why they show up, what they mean spiritually, and how they can actually become some of the greatest guides on your path. You'll learn to see the deeper messages behind them and how to work with the energy they carry instead of being trapped by fear. By the end, I want you to feel not afraid of your nightmares, but curious, empowered, even grateful. So before we dive in, let's just take a grounding moment together. If it feels good, close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Hold it softly for a moment, and exhale gently. With each breath, imagine that you're syncing with the rhythm of the universe. Picture the night sky above you, infinite stars sparkling, the same stars your ancestors dreamed under. You are safe, you are guided, you are supported, and tonight you are ready to listen. Across cultures, people have always understood dreams as bridges to something greater. In ancient Egypt, dreams were considered direct messages from the gods. In Greece, dream temples were built so people could sleep in sacred spaces and receive visions. Indigenous traditions around the world often treat nightmares as sacred, yes, even the dark, frightening ones, because they hold urgent medicine for the soul. Modern science gives us part of the story. Nightmares can be the brain's way of processing stress, trauma, or unresolved emotion. But the spiritual perspective adds another dimension. Nightmares are like cosmic alarm clocks. They turn up the volume so that you can't ignore them. They say, something is out of balance, something hidden wants to be seen. Think about it. Your happiest dreams are often forgotten by morning. But nightmares? They stay. They cling. They demand your attention. Doesn't it make sense that the universe would use them as one of its loudest languages? I'm curious. Have you ever had a nightmare that was so vivid, so intense, that even years later you can recall it as if it happened yesterday? If you have, I'd love for you to share it in the comments. You'd be surprised how often people discover that they've had similar dreams, as though the universe is sending echoes of the same message to many at once. Let's look more closely at what a nightmare actually is. On the surface, it feels like chaos, being chased, falling, drowning, standing in front of something terrifying or unfamiliar. But if you peel back that fear, you'll notice patterns. These patterns are like constellations in the sky of your subconscious. Falling in a dream often symbolizes a loss of control or surrender. Being chased might reflect something you're running from in waking life: grief, change, responsibility. A dream of endless darkness may point to the unknown future or suppressed emotions. Monsters and shadows may actually be parts of yourself, distorted into frightening forms because they've been ignored for too long. But here's the key. The symbols are not universal. They are deeply personal. Just as two people can look up at the same stars and see completely different shapes, your nightmare speaks in a language only you can fully decode. This is why dream dictionaries can sometimes fall flat. They can give hints, but the real meaning comes from your unique emotional connection to the symbols. So the next time you wake from a nightmare, instead of asking, "What does this mean in general?" ask, "What does this mean for me, right now in my life?" That shift changes everything. Carl Jung, the great psychologist and mystic thinker, described the shadow as the part of ourselves that we hide away, the fears, the desires, the wounds we repress. Spiritually, many traditions speak of this shadow self not as something evil, but as something that longs for healing. Nightmares are often the voice of the shadow. They are the unspoken, the unhealed, the unseen. That figure chasing you? It might be your own power, your own courage, trying desperately to reach you. That endless hallway? Perhaps it's the path of your future, one you're afraid to step into. That monster lurking in the corner? Maybe it's grief, sadness, or even a gift you've buried because it felt too big. When we look at nightmares this way, we see that they aren't punishments. They are invitations. Invitations to meet the shadow, to sit with it, and to finally shine light on what we've denied. So I'll ask you, if you were to see your most recent nightmare not as an enemy, but as a messenger, what might it be trying to tell you? The next step is learning to work with nightmares instead of running from them. Here's where your relationship with your dream world deepens. First, record them. Keep a journal or even a voice recorder by your bed. Nightmares fade quickly, so capture them while the emotions are fresh. Don't just write the events. Note the colors, the feelings, the sensations in your body. Sometimes it's the feeling more than the imagery that carries the true message. Second, notice where the dream lives in your body. Did you wake with your chest tight, your throat dry, your stomach in knots? That's the universe pointing to the energy center that needs attention. Third, try talking to your dream. Imagine sitting across from the frightening figure and asking, "What message do you bring?" The answers may surprise you. What looks like a monster may reveal itself to be a protector. What feels like fear may actually be courage in disguise. And finally, express the dream creatively. Paint it, draw it, write poetry about it, dance it, sing it. The universe speaks in symbols, and art is one of the purest ways to respond. All around the world, traditions have honored nightmares as sacred teachers. Shamans see them as journeys into the underworld, where transformation is possible. Mystics see them as thresholds, initiations into higher states of wisdom. Even astrologers sometimes note that certain planetary transits open the gates to darker, more intense dreams, as if the night sky and our inner sky are in direct dialogue. Nightmares are not random. They are like postcards from your soul, written in bold ink so you can't ignore them. They say, here's what your spirit wants you to notice right now. So let me ask you, has a nightmare ever changed you? Maybe it scared you at first, but later it nudged you to change a habit, face a fear, or heal something buried. If so, I'd love to hear your story. Of course, exploring nightmares can feel overwhelming. That's why it's so important to create safety around this work. Before you sleep, set an intention. Universe, if you send me a message tonight, let me receive it with peace and clarity. That small prayer changes the energy. When you wake from a nightmare, ground yourself gently. Look around the room. Name 5 things you see, 4 things you hear, 3 things you feel with your body. It brings you back to earth, to the present moment. And please, remember you don't have to carry your dreams alone. Share them with someone you trust, a friend, a teacher, a therapist, a spiritual guide. Sometimes just voicing a nightmare aloud takes away half its weight. But here's the most important part. Once you've received the message, live it. The universe doesn't send signs just for curiosity. It sends them so you can grow. So, ask yourself, because of this dream, what can I do differently? Maybe it's as simple as resting more, or setting a boundary, or finally allowing yourself to feel grief instead of pushing it down. Maybe it's as bold as starting a new chapter in life. Even the smallest change tells the universe, I heard you, I'm moving forward. And when you do that, the nightmares often shift, they lessen, they transform, because the message has been received. Take another deep breath with me. Inhale starlight and exhale fear. Your nightmares are not your enemies. They are not punishments. They are sacred teachers in disguise, carrying the language of your soul and the whispers of the universe. The next time you wake in fear, Try saying softly, "I'm listening, universe. I'm ready to understand." That simple act turns fear into guidance and guidance into growth. If this journey spoke to you tonight, please like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need a new perspective on their own dreams. It helps our cosmic little community grow, and it means so much. And if you feel called to support more deeply, there's a link in the description where you can leave a donation. It's never expected, but always received with gratitude. Now I'd love to hear from you. What's the most unforgettable nightmare you've had? And what do you think it was trying to tell you? Drop your story in the comments. I read them all, and I may even feature some in future episodes of this dream series. Until we meet again, be gentle with yourself. The universe is speaking through your dreams, even the dark ones, and you are wise enough, brave enough, and luminous enough to listen.